urge to fall for you, for you. Inside this code for you, I'm still searching for you. I'm still searching for you. From dirt to the sky, I'm still searching for I've seen you inside this code. I run till I know you, inside my heart. But now I'm still searching for you. I'm still searching for you. From dirt to the sky, I'm still searching for you. 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 I'm still from dirt to the sky, I'm still searching for you.
Well, hi. We probably need to start the intro, huh?
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
You disgust me.
Who gives a shit?
Go on.
I made it the fuck up. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. It's glorious. And I run.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
All right, everybody out there in YouTube land. It's good to see y'all. And, oh, hey.
Hey.
We've got Bear.
Hello.
Dude. I've seen you on Mr. Max's, I think.
I've seen you around comments. We seem to frequent the same dives.
Yeah. Well, we we run in the same circles. I mean, and we're both Gen X, so that's
there
very
you go.
cool.
Yeah. Wow. So hang on. I realize I'm out of uniform. There we go. All right.
Well, no, I mean, you could use your camera. That's fine. I just don't.
No, it's all good. I'll fit in this way, and that way I can actually, pick my nose and not worry about it.
Yeah, that's kind of why I do it too. Although I do show my hands off a lot. As Patty says, I get by on a disembodied voice. So, but I like to think I have a good microphone.
That's very, very fair.
Yep. How are you guys, Raltz? Greg?
Going back to get a pack of cigarettes so I can sit on the front porch and smoke.
So yeah, big topic this week. I mean, just yesterday, actually. James Earl Jones died.
Yep.
And damn, man. I mean, I knew he was old and getting up there, and I knew that the time was coming. But it's still, you're still not ready for stuff like that.
Well, I mean, this is something we're dealing with, right? Being Gen X, is that all of our childhood icons have been dying off for about 10, 15 years now, right? I mean, the musicians were going first because of those wonderful years of, the 80s, fueled by greed, powered by Coke, so they kind of burned themselves out young and their bodies didn't last. But now we're starting to see the actors go as well that may have been a little less wild. It's just part of it, man,
Yeah.
Sucks, but it's life.
It does. And, and what gets me is people will be like, well, it's not like you knew the guy personally, so why are you getting so upset about it? And I'm like, but didn't I, though? I mean, I still had kind of a relationship with these guys because, ever since I was a little kid, especially in the case of James Earl Jones, I saw him up on my screens doing stuff. And, and I watched him go from being a young man to an older man. Because the very first show I ever saw James Earl Jones in was The Swashbuckler.
Oh, wow.
Made back in 1976. And that starred Robert Shaw and Peter Boyle as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a long-ass time ago. And, and it even had some other people who maybe weren't as well known back at the time, but they're very well known to us now. I mean, it had, let's see. I'll look at the cast list. Okay, Robert Shaw, James Earl Jones, Peter Boyle, Genevieve Bujold, Beau Bridges, Jeffrey Holder, Avery Schreiber. That guy was great. Angelica Houston.
Yeah.
And a guy I definitely grew up watching, Sid Haig.
Yes.
I love Sid Haig.
Well, ironically, through marriage, I was at one point related to Genevieve Bujold.
Oh, wow. No
She used to be married to my cousin Paul Almond, who was a Canadian director.
No shit. Wow. It's a small world, ain't it?
It's a weird old world.
But yeah, I remember James Earl Jones when he was, a young, strapping dude, able to do action scenes and all this other stuff. And, I didn't see Dr. Strangelove until later, but that was actually his first acting role, apparently.
Yep. Kubrick discovered him.
Uh-huh. And then, of course, there was everything else, Star Wars, Exorcist 2, The Bushido Blade, Empire Strikes Back, Flight of Dragons, Conan. Conan, of course, was the biggest role that I'll always remember him for besides Star Wars, because his Thulsa Doom was just incredible.
Funnily enough, for me, it's the Sandlot.
Okay.
That movie really resonated with me. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't like Field of Dreams, because that one was one that a lot of people will cite.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just about kids playing baseball and then being the grumpy old man with his, scary dog or something. It was like life goals.
Mm. And
Gen X has hit the nice sweet spot where half the phone calls start out with "Guess who died?"
Yep.
Yeah.
There was a line in the movie Network where he runs into Faye Dunaway again after not seeing him for a while, and she asks him how he's doing, and he goes, "I'm at that point in my life where I go to a lot more funerals than I do weddings."
True. I'm definitely at that point. Most of my friends already got married.
My friends are all either married, dead, or married and dead.
Yeah, same. I only have a few left, but at least I count you amongst them.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome. Raltz, you remember James Earl Jones in anything in particular?
Oh, besides the usual. God, he was in I don't know the name of the movie. He was in a movie where this crooked CBS worker was trying to take his kid. And I remember that. I mean, he's been in all kinds of movies.
Yeah.
I've said it before. I pay attention to stars that much as I pay attention to roles. Because when I go to the movie, I'm not going there to see a star. I got tired of the star.
You're roboting out real bad, man.
Oh.
I think it's your phone.
No, I'm on porch smoking a cigarette.
That would do it.
No, I don't really pay attention to actors. I pay attention to roles. I don't care about the actors. I care about what roles they're in, which is a lot of money.
Oh, come on, Magnificent Devil. I hope not. Disney bought the rights to his voice. We'll be able to hear him shilling for theme parks and action figures for decades yet.
Well, Disney's getting sued over using Peter Cushing's likeness.
Good. As I get older, will I trade T-shirts for Hawaiian shirts? Oh, God, no. I love T-shirts. I'm always going to wear these things.
You know, another voice that was equally as impressive as James Earl Jones was the guy who did the voice of the Lochnar in the heavy metal movie.
Yeah,
he's passed on. He was on Star Trek. He's from Montreal, where I am, so I'm kind of always partial to that, right?
I want to say that guy was Trinidadian or something, but
yeah, I think he was Trini. He might have been Haitian. I can't remember. I'm just trying to find him right now. It's always hard to find him because he's not a big star, you know.
Yeah, but that voice, you remember that voice?
Oh, for me, that's always been the voice of Doctor Doom. You know what I mean? Like
he played Blackula, also.
Yeah, well, he was the one I know him from the most is Star Trek. Percy Rodriguez, that's his name, and he was uncredited in heavy metal, but he was Commodore. God, was it Commodore something or other on Star Trek in the episode where they put Kirk on trial?
Well, this I don't know about Percy, but this guy's William Marshall is the name of the guy who played Blackula. Yeah,
but that's not the guy who did the Lochnar. It's Percy.
Is
Rodriguez,
it not?
the guy. Yeah,
sure.
100%. 100%. And Percy Rodriguez was Afro-Portuguese, apparently.
Wow. Okay. I always thought he was the voice of the William Marshall was the voice of the Lochnar.
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you have to remember, right? Heavy metal was shot and made in Canada, so it makes sense you'd have Canadian actors and everything, and you do. If you go through the voice list on that movie, it's mostly just Canadian actors. Hence John
Makes
Candy
sense.
and guys like that being in it, right?
Yeah. What the heck am I thinking of that he was in? Yeah, he was Blackula, but he had that voice. He was in a lot of stuff too, but I guess it doesn't matter. We're not really talking about him, but
He did a lot of trailer narration too.
that must have been it. I don't know. All those guys, man, were so memorable for their voices.
Oh, yeah.
I always thought James Earl Jones was pretty cool because, you know, he was a stutterer when he was young. And he had to overcome that in order to have that great voice, that speaking talent. Not only that, but he was a U.S. Army Ranger. So he was kind of a genuine badass. Because he told this story on the set of Conan where he... one of the things that he had to do as a ranger was to find a snake and keep the snake, close to him. He had to keep it, warm and taken care of and everything else. And then at the end of the survival course, he had to eat it. I don't know. Never heard about anything like that. Did you, Ralts?
That's why I call them snake ears all the time.
Yep.
Oh, okay. No kidding.
Yep.
There you go.
Rangers lead the way.
Yep. What about you, Greg? You remember anything special about James Earl Jones?
Oh my God, the red from Flight of Dragons. Favorite
Yeah.
roles.
I got
My
that over
favorite
here.
animated movies. I mean, that's the one that pops out of my head as being a standout besides the usual stuff.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. You know who finally got me to get that movie was Kringe.
Oh, okay.
He kept telling me about it, and so I finally looked it up and found a copy of it and got it. And yeah, it is a good movie.
Yeah, it's really good. Also kind of about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, a little bit. And speaking of, like animated movies and Dungeons and Dragons, I picked up the book version of Last Unicorn, which
Yeah.
I've seen the movie hundreds and hundreds of times. I saw it as a kid, but I had never actually read the book. So
Yeah, I've got that on my shelf too.
yeah, what amazes me is how faithful to the book the animation was.
Unlike The Secret of Nim, which is not as faithful to the original book, but that's okay because I think the additions make it better. That's just me, though.
I haven't seen Secret of Nim in a long time.
Love that movie.
Yeah. All the Don Bluth movies were kind of like dark, and they were kind of definitely not for kids, even though they were for kids.
Until he lost his mind and started making all this ridiculous mainstream crap like A Troll in Central Park and Pebble and the Penguin and all this little kid stuff. I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah, but we're Gen X. We're the generation that was reared on Watership Down. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love it when Gen Zers are like, did you have scary this? It's like, oh, honey, we had scary everything.
Exactly.
I love it whenever people mention the list of Studio Ghibli films, and I'm always kind of like, oh, well, there's a Studio Ghibli film I'll bet you haven't seen, Grave of the Fireflies?
No, I actually haven't watched that. I have no desire to wish I was dead.
Even food was scary for us back then. It's like, what's for dinner? There's been the pizzas on the living room table for about past 2 or 3 days. I'm like, what? Yeah, it's still good. Don't worry about it. Just microwave it.
Oh, the hell with that.
Can we have McDonald's? We have McDonald's at home. No, we don't.
No, the food was scary because when we'd pour our milk into our cereal, we were looking at a missing child. I mean, come on.
Well, not only that, but I mean, you guys remember the Frankenberry stool thing?
Yes.
Where the food dye that was in the Frankenberry cereal was making kids shit pink.
Yeah, red dye. Yeah,
still happens if you eat a lot of blueberries, blackberries.
I don't know about that, but just kind of on a related tangent. I tend to get Powerade instead of Gatorade just because Powerade has fewer, if any, carbs in it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I always get the sugar-free stuff, right? Well, for a while on the shelf, they were selling some flavor. I want to say it was like orange berry or some shit. And it was like a deep, kind of like a dark orange color. And, I drank a couple of bottles, no big deal. Went to go do my business in the restroom, and I thought, holy shit, I burst something in my fucking bowels or something. Because, I mean, it was like all red and orange and shit. And I was just like, oh my God.
I get that excitement with one of my medications. The pill has a coloring dye in it that just goes straight through me when I urinate. So, first urination after the meds are taken in the morning is like this bright yellow neon color. And I'm like, first time, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Oh, pardon my language.
You're fine. No, that's fine. I had one friend who was in the Army or something like that who said that they got exposed to radiation or something like that, and they had to take some kind of pill called Prussian blue, and they literally made their urine turn blue.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. But that's what he said.
No, I believe it.
But yeah, kind of just getting back to things though. It's like, yeah, we're not going to see a lot of actors like him anymore, like James Earl Jones, just because it's just they were a different breed than the actors that there are now. And sadly, I think one of the last of them was probably someone like Bruce Willis.
Yeah, there'll always be replacements, that's for sure, but it's always going to depend on where they come from, right? It's always going to be where they come from. And a lot of those guys like James Earl Jones and stuff like that, they came up through the military, they came up through the Korean War, a lot of them, or Vietnam even. And, you know, then you look at the generation before they came up through World War II and all that kind of stuff. Those guys, you know, when they got to being actors, they had lived a life already. A lot of who we're seeing in film and television now are just, you know, they're just pro actors. They spent their whole life being an actor, right? And that's the same problem we have with the writers right now and that. So there's a lot of lack of life experience in Hollywood in general. And I say that having spent over 20 years in the film industry. It's a thing. It's noticeable. It's palpable. It's, you know, the stunt guys aren't tough like they used to be.
No.
You know what I mean? It's just weird.
You sound exactly like me bitching about the writing industry and the tabletop games industry. That if these people did more than graduate college and then sit at Starbucks, they might be able to write something freaking decent. But no, we've got to do everything around corporate stock art and what it's like to go to Starbucks at 2 a.m. and what it's like to jam a Funko Pop up your ass, because that's all they know. They don't know anything else.
What game is that? I got to pick that one up just for the reading value.
Yeah, I mean,
Fatal.
You read this stuff and you're like, have you ever walked a mile in your life? And then you see their picture online and you're like, no, you haven't.
Yeah.
You know, and it shows. You know, it's the biggest one is the Hollywood trope of I've never touched a weapon in my life and I'm a sheltered person, but I pick up this amazingly complex light machine gun and then rock and roll it like I spent 8 tours in the Nam. And I hate that shit. And it makes me turn the movie off.
Have you seen Atomic Blonde?
Yes, I actually liked that.
So what I liked about Atomic Blonde, there's a lot to like about it, but when she's in the stairwell having the fight with the 2 hitmen, and she's just getting the tar beat out of her, and she looks like she's getting the tar beat out of her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was more impressed that she survived that fight.
But it looked believable. The way she survived it and the way it all played out. At the end, you were like, okay, clearly she's going to be limping for a couple of days, but you can believe that she won that fight. Unlike, say, whatever garbage comes out of Hollywood right now, where some 5'3", you know, you go girl, boss girl, too close to the sun, and you know, kicking the crap out of 6'8", you know, meat muppets. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
over accommodating stuntmen.
Mm-hmm.
Exceptionally over accommodating stuntmen.
Well, I mean, you got like, okay, you know, my favorite actor pretty much of all time is Charles Bronson. Now you stack Charles Bronson up to somebody like Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like, yeah, Charles Bronson would chew this kid up and spit him out.
Yeah, but Pattinson, like, no, to give the devil his due, Pattinson's actually a damn good actor and he has range. Bronson never had range. You know, Bronson. Every character played Bronson was the same guy. I dug a ditch with my face. Hey, tough guy. You know, like he was every character.
But it worked.
It did work, but it's the same thing. Like, okay, take Schwarzenegger and Van Damme, right? In every Van Damme film, he's from Quebec, he's from France, he's from Belgium, he's Cajun, whatever, right?
Yep. Got to have the accent.
Schwarzenegger films, he just sounds like that. They never explain it for the most part. That's just what he sounds like.
I am from upscale Los Angeles. You wouldn't believe me. Sure, just don't eat me.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that was the secret behind Conan the Barbarian. I mean, since we're talking about James Earl Jones, you know, Conan the Barbarian was like a big film for him. But John Milius.
Who here has seen Hercules in New York?
I've got it. I have it on Blu-ray. I seriously do.
Okay, hang on. Have you seen the Jane Mansfield story where he plays her husband?
No.
No.
Oh, there you go. There's an obscure early Schwarzenegger
The
reference.
the first Schwarzenegger movie I ever saw was The Villain with
Yes, same
Kirk
here.
Douglas.
Oh, wow.
Same here with his 7-shot 6-shooter.
Mm-hmm. And he was wearing that bright blue outfit.
Yes.
That's old.
I always wondered why he talked funny in that show.
Yeah, Milius is a hell of a director. Milius, he always has the same line, which is he says, if you don't like guns when you start working on a movie with me, you'll love them by the end. And he proved it on Red Dawn because all these little lefty, LA kids were all like, oh, we're against guns. And he took them all out shooting so they could learn to look good on film. And to this day, they all say that was like the best film they worked on. And some of them are still, they still like going to gun clubs to shoot and stuff like that,
Yeah.
What I love is how critics and modern media literate people completely misunderstand Red Dawn.
Oh,
They think it's all about jingoism. It's not. It's a critique of child soldiers.
Yep.
And the end just slams it home with nobody comes here anymore but me.
Yep.
Her friends who were children are, written on the rock, and they kept hearing, oh, the army's going to come help you. They're going to come help you. Oh, no, they fought and died ultimately for nothing. They didn't stop that train. That train that goes by, they didn't stop it. They kept right on going to the front. Child soldiers, and they missed the point with, oh, it's just jingoism. That movie should horrify you.
Well,
Did you see that horrible remake?
It was awful.
Stupid.
It had one scene. It had one where he goes, I've got a bug in me. Give me the 60 and leave me behind. That is the only good scene.
Yeah.
No, it's but the criticism is one of the things you got to learn. I had a roommate who was a film critic.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, because one of my buddies who's a stunt actor really, really put him in his place one night. We were watching The Warriors, and there was
good movie.
The bathroom fight. My buddy kept back, because he's a stunt actor, he kept backing up one sequence to see if it was one shot or a cut shot, and how they did it. It's when he flips the roller skating guy into the bathroom stall. And then later, they have the sequence where she goes, Deborah Van Valkenburg, they're on the subway, and she goes to adjust her hair, and Swan stops her, right? Like sort of implying you're good
Classic.
as you are. It's a great moment. And Jason Kasher goes, that's a great shot. And our buddy, the critic, goes, oh, do you want to watch that 15 times in a row? To which he just looked at him and he said, and that's why I make movies and you watch them.
Ooh.
It was like the best burn. It was just boom, shut up. Nothing worse than a critic, let me tell you.
Yeah. Well, sort of what I do on this channel is criticize stuff. Because obviously I have bad opinions on a lot of things that are out there, or opinions that would be considered to be negative for some things. Like I'm not a big fan of anything coming out of Star Wars these days.
No, who is?
Well, some people still really love it and everything, but I've figured out what a lot of the problem is, and that it literally, a lot of the stuff that is being made, like the Rings of Power, all the latest Star Wars stuff, some of the Marvel stuff, there's like a few bright spots here and there still, but most of it it's all not being made for me. I mean, it may have been made for me at one time, but now the audience that they're wanting to shoot for is not me. So they're wanting like shipping. They're wanting just a completely different set of people to watch these films. So there really isn't made for me anymore. So of course I'm not going to enjoy it. The thing that kills me is the fact that they're so willing to go out and destroy all the source material as hard as they possibly can, or steal from all the source material as hard as they possibly can in order to make this stuff, without acknowledging that the stuff that came before that they're stealing from was actually good. And that's why they're having to steal from it, because they don't have any good ideas of their own. They're forced to steal.
T, let me tell you a little story about being a Star Trek fan from way back and trying to deal with modern Trek. You know what I'm saying? Oh my
God. Yeah, Star Trek.
Long before they came after this precious Star Wars and Marvel, they bought so they could have a boy. 2009, they pretty much stuck it as deep as they could in Star Trek and made it look like it was something else, and everybody raved about how great it was. And a bunch of us were going, this ain't Star Trek. I don't know what this is, but this ain't Star Trek. And it just got worse and worse and worse. And then ironically, The kids show Star Trek Prodigy is probably the most Star Trek thing of the new generation. It actually of this new era of Star Trek. It has so much reverence and respect for what Star Trek is, and no one's watching it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's Star Trek was meant to be the smart show, right? It was meant to be the intelligent sci-fi.
Yes.
Now it's just pew pew bang bang whatever.
Yeah, I did like a 20-page paper on Star Trek, what it brought to American consciousness and, how it affected people when it came out, and I'm talking about the original series. And then later on, I went into the Next Generation, which, of course, is the one I more or less grew up with.
The next D generation, you mean?
Oh, come on. It was good.
TNG was okay. It had moments.
Yeah.
DS9 was great for the most part. There were bad parts, including the first season or so, but it was still a good show.
Yeah.
Voyager was when it was good. No, when it was good, it was amazing. But
Enterprise, I heard, was good.
Unwatchable. Enterprise got good.
Yeah.
I watched one episode of Voyager, and it was when the half Vulcan got pissed off, couldn't control her temper, and assaulted a superior officer, and she made the superior officer apologize. I was like,
what?
That's not how the military works.
The half Vulcan? I mean, the half Klingon, Taurus.
Half Klingon, yeah. Yeah. Oh, you know her heritage. You shouldn't. Then you know what? Throw her out the airlock.
Well, but she was also Maquis. There was a lot of stuff they missed on that show that could have been really good, but they didn't capitalize on it, sadly. But yeah, no, Star Trek can be some of the best storytelling you'll ever see, but not Discovery by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm sorry, all the people who think Strange New Worlds is a good show are just drinking member berries. That's all it is.
Yeah. I think by the time Voyager came out, everybody was starting to suffer from Star Trek fatigue because we'd already had TNG and we'd already had DS9, and those were already kind of pushing things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Christ, there was almost a 20-year period where Star Trek was on TV continually.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. That's a lot. That's a lot to keep good writing, good quality on. It's really hard. It's not a police procedural. You know what I mean? Those are easy to keep on the air.
Yeah. I couldn't get into Deep Space Nine. I watched like the first, I don't know how many episodes, like a good number, and it was okay. But I had seen Babylon 5, and Babylon 5 was better.
Yeah, but Babylon 5 can't be rewatched. I've tried rewatching Babylon 5 a couple of times, and it's like, I know the story. The mystery's over. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about The Expanse as well. The mystery's over.
Yep. Deep Space Nine, you got to start watching like the end of season 2, and then it really gets good. Like once they figure out what they're going to do and they start building up towards the Dominion War, it's actually a damn good show.
That's why I'm kind of worried about this new Alien show that's coming out.
Oh, dear God, no.
Yeah, it takes place on Earth.
No.
For the love of God, I'm sick of prequels.
If it doesn't contain the words Earth Hive, I'm not going to watch it.
It doesn't. It
does
takes
not.
place 30 years before the first movie.
Oh, screw that, no.
But it could be interesting because apparently it doesn't really focus that much on the alien. It's about the growth of Weyland Yutani and
Leprechauns can jump the glass and sing a song.
No, it's about Weyland Yutani and their development of like the android technology and like all this stuff that they were involved in. And
so it's going to be Caprica. Is that what you're telling me?
Basically. Yeah. And I heard that they were going to reboot BSG again, but they didn't. They had to cancel that. But
I'm the guy who doesn't like the reboot BSG and loves the original.
I hate the reboot BSG. I hate it so much.
I refuse to watch it.
Like if they called it something else, it would have been an okay sci-fi show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Oh, and just for really quick to show off, I did get something today. Figured I'd go ahead and do a little bit of show and tell here because I just got one thing. But I know Iries will be interested in seeing this one.
Oh yeah, I got that in. Yeah.
This is awesome. This is cool because this is the second anime I ever watched with my friend Bonsai George. The first one we watched was from Animego, and it was Metal Skin Panic Maddox 01, which ain't on Blu-ray yet, but I imagine they'll re-release it.
Oh, you like a re-release now?
Yeah. But this one was classic. I remember writing being real well.
Yeah,
Classics.
Writing means awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad anime goes back.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second here.
What you got?
No, Metal Skin Panic 01 was reprinted. It's $14.
It is?
Yeah, on Crunchyroll. It's Anime Ego. It's got reprinted. I'll send you the link.
Okay. More crap to buy.
Well, you have to buy that because that's a classic.
Yes, I do. Classic, good anime is worth. And then they've got a new version of BSG, or not BSG, Bubblegum Crisis.
Yeah,
Bubblegum Crash.
yeah. That's I might need to buy that. I have the original.
I have the original on DVD, but it would be nice to get Blu-ray copies. Because I'm stupid that way. I like Blu-ray.
When I get out of jail, I'll smash your face again. You know why? Because I'm stupid. Remember that from Casino?
Yeah. I wish they would re-release AD Police on Blu-ray.
I don't. Think
I
they
got
can.
the.
They
I
can't
got
because,
the.
It can't because the original film elements have been destroyed.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I believe that's one of the ones that they lost.
Wow. Well, I've got the DVD, so I guess I feel lucky for that.
Yeah, same with Dominion Tank Police.
No. Well, Dominion wasn't.
That one I don't think was destroyed, but the company who made it doesn't remember making it, so they can't license it.
They don't remember. It was U.S. Manga Corps.
Who knows who? Discotech went over to Japan, and it's like, we want this, and they're like, we've never heard of this before. What are you talking about? We never made this. So like nobody knows who owns it, what happened to it. There's no paper trail. It's in limbo forever.
Jeez. Listless Reception says, have you ever seen an anime con now and you just don't recognize any of the characters, none of the merch? No, you're not old and shriveled. I've only ever been to a con because that's close to home.
They all look the fucking same to me. I like modern anime, just grates on my nerves.
It's okay. I mean, I like some of it. Some of it is more standout than others. I mean, I like Kengan Ashura. I cried my eyes out when that one ended. I like Dungeon Meshi. I liked Freyren.
And people recommend these entry shows to me that are real modern, and you're like, oh, you gotta watch Steins Gate. You gotta watch. I'm like, okay, I'll try it out, and it ends up being like, I've seen this story before 100 times. What's special about it? Yeah. Oh, you're a Zoomer and you haven't seen it before, so it's special to you. But to someone like me, it's not special. I don't care about that.
Yeah, the quality of anime has dropped off considerably because it's become so mainstream now. And I always feel like a boomer or a Gen X that I am, because I'm always telling people, it's like, guys, the best anime was made back in the 1980s.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, well, what about this? And I'm saying, yeah, well, it wouldn't exist without, Fist of the North Star, Dragon Ball Z, JoJo. All that shit was made back in the 80s. It was a Ghost in the Shell made back in the 80s and I think early 90s.
Why has there never been an Akira anime series?
Thank God there hasn't been.
Why? They could follow the manga. It's amazing.
They're trying to make it. They're trying to make a live action Akira.
No, but I mean, they're just going to remake the movie with that. I mean, taking the actual manga Akira and telling it is a series. Why has that never happened?
It's funny to me because the movie doesn't even look like anime anymore. Like it used to be, people would think of anime back in the early 90s and Akira would pop in their head. But now it doesn't even, like, anime doesn't look like that anymore at all. Like it's
I hate to be that dude, but I remember seeing Akira back in the day and I didn't like it.
You're gonna be that dude.
I'm that dude. I didn't like it. I mean, now if I watched it again, I might like it. But there was a lot of stuff that I watched that people are like, "Oh, it was so good," like Paprika, and I'm like, I didn't enjoy this.
That's not a very good one.
Is it not? A lot of people said that was a good one. I'm like, nah, it's just okay. But then I'd say stuff. Well, have you seen Moldiver? No, I've never heard of that one. Okay. Well, have you seen Orgus? No. Moldiver was fun. Are you kidding? Whenever he changes physics, we were laughing our asses off at that.
No, that's real bad.
No, it isn't. It's not that bad. El Hazard. That was a great one.
I'll tell you what's funny. Ping Pong Club. Do you know what that
see
is?
That one. I didn't see it, but I heard about it. Everybody's always like, Golden Boy was so good. And I'm just kind of like,
It was good. But Ping Pong Club was like the Japanese South Park. It was like so shocking at the time that like you could not believe what you were watching.
I don't know, man. I saw Urutsuki Doji, and I mean, I saw all three of them.
Yeah, but that's not.
Sadly, I did too.
Oh, I say it's not a comedy, but in some ways it could be considered a comedy.
I tell you what, though, it's like I was told Greg earlier today. I was like, the anime that fucked me up the worst was the Animatrix.
Oh yeah,
the second Renaissance 1 and 2. God, Jesus, you cannot watch that and just walk away going, my life is happy.
Yeah, we were talking about that in the chat about how my game and everything.
Yeah, here, why not? Let's just show everybody, the scene that we were talking about anyway. See, I think I still got it. Yeah, right, here we go.
The whole battle scene rules.
Well, yeah, but this is just the only little clip right here. If it'll... Yeah. Like, this shit'll send you into PTSD right
here. Yeah.
What was that from?
That's Animatrix, the second Renaissance part 2.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. That whole thing, the whole battle scenes and stuff like that is just horrifying, and the shit that they were doing to the robots, it just make you go, ugh.
Plus, it's not like the robots were innocent. I mean, the shit they were doing to the humans was, wow, dude, really?
Well, I think that was the whole point. It was like, first they showed how horrible the humans were being to the robots, and then the robots just turned around and just started doing it to all the humans, and it was just so terrible afterwards.
Because they had the humans half dissected and were experimenting on their brains to invoke emotions.
Yeah,
when I first watched it, I was like, "There's no way future humanity would be that stupid." Well, guess where we are now.
Whenever they made all these anime and all these TV shows and sci-fi comedies and all stuff, that stuff was not supposed to be a template. Okay, that was supposed to be a warning. It's like I'm always telling people, it's like, guys, Idiocracy was supposed to be a warning. It wasn't. I mean, yes, it was funny, but we were not supposed to try to emulate it.
Yeah, Jurassic Park was supposed to be like a strong warning against the overuse of technology. You're not supposed to want to have the dinosaurs.
What was the Venn diagram? It was 1984, Brave New World, Handmaid's Tale, Idiocracy, and something else, and then like in the middle, it's like You Are Here.
Yeah. Sadly,
try to work in some new Android stream of electric sheep just to take us home.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if we'll ever get to that level of technology, at least not in my lifetime. I don't know. I don't think we will.
You will live to see man-made horrors beyond your comprehension.
I already have.
Just TikTok. Awesome One says Akira is dystopia gold. I would agree, but the dystopian stuff in Akira is mainly like very obscure Japanese political shit that was going on in the 80s. Like, you probably won't understand what it means if you're an American. Like, there's a lot of like, same thing with like Pat Labor, the movie too. There's a lot of these like classic anime movies that were all about like Japanese politics and stuff like that. It's like, well, I kind of get it, but also not really.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you got to read the manga for Akira, because they actually explain it to the reader a little bit better.
Yeah.
In the movie.
Like that Buddhist priest that we see in the movie that has no role actually has a very big part in the manga and stuff like that. And the politicians, the corruption, everything that's going on. It's really an interesting manga. Like, it's probably one of the few I've read that I liked.
Well, that's what I always tell people. It's like, people are like, oh, Ghost in the Shell, so awesome. Did you read the manga? No, you need to read the manga. The manga is better.
So I don't want to be that guy, but I never liked Ghost in the Shell. I liked the tech, but I didn't like the story.
Well, I mean, fair. And honestly, Masamune Shirao, sometimes when I read his stuff, I was like, this dude is so far up his own ass, you know? He has lost the plot.
A lot of futurists are up their own asses. That's the problem with being a futurist.
Thank you.
Yeah. But really quick, I like this comment from Calvin Oni. He says, I saw the Flintstones. I want to normalize dinosaurs. Okay. Quick question for the panel. What is everybody's favorite dinosaur? I'll go first. Mine is Triceratops.
I don't know. It's the little one that's like the size of a large house cat. I like that one. I don't know what it's called though.
Little green ones?
Yes.
Okay. Greg?
Precompsognathus.
That's the name of it. The little one.
Yeah.
I liked the Deinonychus.
Oh, Deinonychus, yeah.
But that was an obscure one as a kid because there weren't really anything about that until Jurassic Park with the raptors.
Yeah. I the first time I ever heard of Deinonychus, it was the Dino Riders toys.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh. What about you, Bear?
Well, Cal knows this because he hangs out at my show. I don't like dinosaurs.
At all?
At all.
Wow.
And I blame Jurassic Park for it.
You can't blame Jurassic Park.
Oh, yes, I can.
He got chased too many times while checking the mail.
No. I was dating a girl at the time who was obsessed with fucking Jurassic Park. And she drove me insane with that fucking movie.
Oh, yeah, that would do it. I was
continually cascaded into PTSD about fucking dinosaurs.
I briefly dated a girl who was into Star Wars. And yeah, I rejected Star Wars wholesale for the longest time because I had PTSD from being with her about Star Wars.
But to play along, if I had to pick one, whatever Guanji was, that's my favorite.
Oh man, I remember that movie. I don't remember what the hell that dinosaur was.
Allosaurus, maybe? I can't remember.
May have been.
I was shocked to find out pterodactyl was not actually a dinosaur.
It's not? What is pterodactyl?
Classified as something else.
It's an Allosaurus in Valley of the Guanji.
It's a pterosaur. It's kind of related to a dinosaur, but not really.
Well, because it's not a lizard, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Huh.
Or is it a lizard?
Here's the first question. It doesn't. There's some kind of anatomical difference in the hip bone that makes it not a dinosaur. Whatever. I'm not a scientist.
Well, I still remember whenever they said that Brontosaurus wasn't a real thing, and it just crushed my childhood.
Yeah, I remember Jurassic Park didn't have them. They were brachiosaurs, and I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
brachiosaurs.
Yeah, well, big paleontology, always trying to hide the truth, right?
Big paleontology.
Fred Flintstone was a documentary. The Flintstones, it was legit, man. He wrote Brontosaurus.
Yeah, and I still have people tell me, "Oh, they're trying to resurrect a mammoth and all that." I'm like, "Well, they're not going to live very long. Why? Because how much those things eat."
Hey, look, 150 million years from now, they're going to dig up those Flintstones vitamins, and they're still going to be good.
Yeah, they probably will.
They're just
I ate half a bottle of them once. I don't remember what the rest of that day. But
a little hypervitaminosis for you. Your hair starts falling out. Your
vitamin A toxicity is especially deadly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, getting off topic again, but it's too funny not to tell the story. I had a Marine friend who told me that they had a guy in their unit, and they were passing out these little vitamin supplements to the locals. He didn't tell me where they were, but I suspect it was someplace hot. Hint, hint. But one of the guys was walking up, and he had this great big giant bag of gummies, and he was eating on them. He's like, "Hey, Chris, you want some of these gummies?" And Chris was like, "No, I don't like those. I like chocolate." So he went on his way. A couple minutes later, I think it's like one of the corpsmen or something came over to him, and he said, "Hey, Chris, you find this yeah, have you seen these the vitamins that we're giving out to the kids? He's like, what do you mean? What do they look like? He says, well, they look like these gummy bears. He's like, oh shit, what's his name? Just had a big ass bag of them. They found that dude. They grabbed him and they just pulled him back into the medical tent, and he was puking up all kinds of rainbow colors because he'd eaten half a bag of vitamin infused gummies. They were injecting him with all kinds of shit, apparently.
That sounds very, very Marine Corps. Ooh, it's colorful.
Well, it's like a box of crayons.
Exactly.
It's colorful. It must be edible. Oh, man.
Yep. I think he said the same guy later on, it's like their unit got shelled. And that same poor bastard was in the shower when it happened. So it's like somehow, miraculously, it's like the explosion took out the building around him, but didn't hurt him. But he was completely bald ass naked in the shower, and he came out just totally nude. I don't know. The stories are funny. It's kind of sad because I had an army friend pass away recently, and he was the only guy I ever knew who didn't have any funny stories about the military. And I'm just kind of like, you sure you were in the military, Don?
No, he's the one that all the funny stories are about.
Yeah, because I was about to say, I don't think I've ever met a single ex-military guy who did not have at least one funny as hell story. Like I was talking about my buddy Bonsai George earlier, and George told me a story. He said one time he was with an artillery unit, and they had one of these guns where it had the loading hatch on it. Was a drop down, and they had some officer come in and do an inspection on their unit. So they were standing there, and the officer is like head down. He's bent underneath this loading hatch, his ass up in the air. One of the guys reached over and goosed him, and he said the dude stood up so fast that he closed the breech with his head. Got an instant concussion for it. He said, but that was like he said that was like a pressurized hatch or some shit. It's just like it's a heavy breach, and he closed it with his skull, the back of his skull.
Yeah, a lot of horseplay.
Yes. But anyway, just kind of getting back on topic of things. Well, I mean, this is Tuesday night. This is kind of our BS night anyway, to just enjoy. Greg, do you have video? Do you have video for your new Titans?
Oh, you mean
your new Titans condoms?
Excuse me.
Your new Titans of Fallen Earth. The game that is better than Lancer.
He is stored in the balls. All right, let me see if I can. I have the trailer.
Sorry, what were you saying?
I have the link for the YouTube video.
Okay, let's see.
Or the chat.
All right. Let me go and pull that down while you talk about your game that is coming up.
The trailer explains it all. But yeah, it's a big kaiju versus mecha RPG, but it's not like modern, it's not Voltron type of stuff. This is like old Terminator, Mad Max inspired stuff.
Yeah, and this trailer is kick ass, by the way. I don't know who you got to voice it, though.
Actress friend of ours.
She's good, although she does have a little vocal fry on it. But still.
We used Adobe Enhance. I blame my author if that's true.
Oh, okay.
The world ended in a sea of fire on September 1st, 1989.
It's like the Terminator opening.
Yeah.
The bombs took out more of us than of them. There are survivors, crawling through the ruins, trapped by endless storms of smoke and ash. Now those things are coming back, just like they did before. But this time, we'll be waiting.
Oh, it's an alien sound
This
effect.
time,
Like that.
we can stop them.
Yes.
Cool.
I think
Very cool.
that thing was cool, man.
Yeah. The Kickstarter pre-launch should be live this week. They have to approve it. It's supposed to be approved pretty quickly. It says 1 to 3 business days, but you know how Kickstarter is. So as soon as that's approved, that's how you get notified for the launch. A launch is probably going to be on Halloween Day.
Are you serious? You gonna wait that long?
It's not that far away. That's like 40 days. That's like 45 days away.
That's forever when you're wanting to give people money.
Well, Gods of the Forbidden North, they did it for 90 days.
Yeah, I did a 90-day for Heroic, and man, I'll tell you, about day 60, I was like, why did I do 90 days?
Yeah, I'm not going that far, but I figured a little bit further than 30 would make sense. Then it could land on Halloween. It's got the monster theme to it, the cyberpunk theme to it. People might be interested. I could do like a little launch party like Black Cloud Games did and have like Halloween stuff going on. It'd be a fun time.
Yeah. If only we could watch like, kaiju movies on stream without getting copyright claimed. But
They might get copyright claimed for the music in my trailer.
oh God, I hope not. That's one of the reasons I wanted to show some clips from James Earl Jones's movies, but I started thinking, they're probably going to be real squirrely with the copyright, because if I start showing a whole bunch of different movies, 2 or 3 of them are going to hit. So
Yeah, I had to pay for that license, but
uh-oh.
I think that they're not going to notice or care.
Well, if they do, I can mute or cut that section, and that'll just be a treat for those of you who watched it live.
Yes, indeed.
Which is kind of what I usually say anyway. But
I hope people are excited about it. I want it to appeal not only to RPG fans, but sci-fi fans and Godzilla fans, and people who just even like the artwork. Comic book guys, like maybe they might be interested in picking it up.
I definitely will.
It's funny, I resemble all of those guys.
Yeah. Funny how old nerds are that
What
way.
I'm waiting for, Greg, I'm still waiting for the Super Robo versus Kaiju game.
Yeah, no transforming super robos in this one.
No, not transforming. No. I mean like Grendizer,
Oh,
yeah.
I mean old school Super Robo. That's what I like.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I have to take my leave of you, sadly. The debate started, and I got to watch it.
All right. Well,
So
we're almost done anyway.
I didn't know how much longer you're going. How long do you normally go for?
This is usually just an hour-long show, but sometimes
then
we
I'll-
end up going longer when we're having fun.
I'll chill until you guys are done, then, because they're not going to start yammering for a bit anyway.
Okay. Okay, well, other things that happened this week. This one really pissed me off because it happened today. But as you know, I put out a notice a couple of days ago that I had to completely take down my Fabula Ultima playthrough, because when we did it on Grimm's stream, I told Grimm ahead of time, I said, hey, they actually have a soundtrack to Fabula Ultima. It is downloadable. It comes with the game for free. And apparently you can stream it. We could stream the official game soundtrack during the game that we play. And he said, yeah, okay, we could do that. So he did. I sent, a notice to the originator of the music. And I said, hey, we're playing your game on our stream. We just don't want to get copyright claimed for your music. Can you please pull the copyright claims so that we don't get claimed, right? Well, sure enough, our stream got claimed for every single piece of music, so that pretty much ate up most of the stream with copyright claims, so we couldn't get it monetized whatsoever. So I started this really painful process of deleting all of the sound parts that had that music put in it. Well, after I got finished, I went back and watched the video, and I'm just like, there's whole swaths of time in the video where you can't hear anybody say anything.
That's terrible.
Yeah. it pissed me off so much. I just went ahead and I deleted the video off of my channel completely. I sent out a notice and I apologized to everybody. Told them, I said, yeah, sorry this happened. Well, guess what? Today, I got an email from the guy who made the music, and he said, oh, sorry it took so long to get back to you. Yeah, we'll go ahead and whitelist you so you don't get copyright claimed. I wanted to bang my face against my desk until I got a subdural hematoma.
Yeah. Yeah, like I've spoken to bands before, and I'm like, "Can I use your music?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, sure, fine." And then it gets copyright claimed, and I'm like, "Dude, you said I could use it," and it takes. Oh, it's just a nightmare. It's robots, AI is in charge of it. Nobody even looks at it.
You want to know what's funny is music is allowed to sample movies, literature, other music, whatever they want.
Yeah,
right. Music is like, but did you know in literary works? You can't even have a single line of song lyric. You're not supposed to have a single line of song lyric.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, actually, that's what they keep claiming, and it's like, no, you guys sample and steal from everybody. So as long as I'm not reprinting your lyrics, how about you eat a dick? They're really nasty about it too.
I don't know, man. All this everybody trying to claim their rights crap is just ridiculous. I understand why. I understand the need for it, and I understand people's concerns about it, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, it just destroys platforms like this one, because every piece of music that we want to use is copyrighted. Every piece of cinema that we want to show off is copyrighted. Everything is copyrighted to the point where we can't do anything with it. The only thing we have left to do is live streams, and YouTube penalizes live streams by not showing as much of your channel. So what they really want you to do is make videos. Well, in order to make videos, you still got to have music and possibly clips and stuff like that in order to, punch up your videos.
And that Univision or whatever the hell it is, they will copyright claim shit they don't own. My granddaughter was sitting there singing some song she made up, okay, in the background of one of the streams I was doing. And I log in the next day and find out that Univision, it's some damn big company, and they claimed it. They said it was their property, and I was like, what? And when I appealed to YouTube, they're like, well, we're taking their word for it. I'm like, eat a dick. I'm just going to delete my channel.
Yeah,
I've beaten every copyright strike against me, every claim. I've contested them. I've always used the same thing, which is it was a reaction. We were reacting to it. Shut up. And then they always say no, and then I appeal the no, and I win. I've beaten Disney, Sony, NBC, a couple of music companies. You just got to be tenacious about it. And just pick React. Always pick React as your reasoning.
I don't like the Napster guy. I think he's an asshole, but I kind of do respect his ability to destroy the entire industry, because fuck these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music industry is the most evil industry in existence, if you ever were wondering.
What's funny is early 2000s and early 2010s YouTube is what really made a lot of music popular again. And now they're wondering why they're not, why their record companies aren't doing worth a shit. And it's because you can't even, you can't do any more cool bang ups with video and music, or they will jump on you. And so everybody's just stopped bothering. Why bother?
Well, I have started making my own music.
Me too.
Yeah, using AI. So it's kind of like, pfft. And I told people that this was going to happen. And I've already told Grim that this was going to happen. I said, rather than have to deal with all the, the YouTube copyright bullshit, just start making AI generated music and, tell people to go eat a dick, because it's all you can do.
I did so far 126 songs for Heroic for my 1980X superhero universe, where basically the idea is that superheroes are so they affect pop culture. So I've done 126 songs from the year of 1980X, which is the default start date of the campaign.
Awesome.
All of them about something to do with a superhero, but they're all like 80s music, and they sound great. And I every now and then get on and I just run a stream where I just play them and people hang out. It's really fun.
You're using Marvel superheroes, aren't you?
Well, we rebuilt Marvel Superheroes, and we made some necessary changes to it, and then it's been rebranded as Heroic. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wanted to ask you: Have you tried Ascendant?
I read Ascendant.
Opinion?
Now, if you know Marvel Superheroes and you know Ascendant,
I know Fast Rip.
You know that I prefer Phase Rip. Can you imagine how Ascendant was for me?
Well, I know I have a copy of Ascendant. I've been kind of slowly reading through it. I know that it is super duper mega crunchy. I mean, everything can be. I like the fact that McCrease pretty much has an answer for everything. Like if something is traveling at such speed, what is the physical effect of it?
Yeah, see that, and that's not the kind of game I like to play. So for me, it was a good read. It was interesting, but it was not my cup of tea.
Huh.
That's all. But neither was Mutants and Masterminds or Champions, or Silver Age Sentinels. I don't like builder Lego games.
Yeah, I remember playing Heroes. Champions? And that was back when I got the book, and it came with a diskette for a hero builder. Yeah. We needed it to get through that game because it was so complex. Because before that, we were playing GURPS, and we thought that was complex.
Yeah.
But anyway.
No, McChrist is a very good game designer. He does great stuff. He's just not in my wheelhouse. It's not the stuff I like.
Okay. Magnificent Devil, man, you're right on point with everything, dude. Do you want to be a panelist one of these days? There's a cottage industry of false DMCA claims. Yes, there is. Kind of like patent trolls. Some fly-by-night claims they hold a license they don't actually have, strike everyone, and presumably win off enough. Yeah. Yep. Somebody kept claiming the Cyberpunk song I was using at the beginning of my shows. And I'm kind of like, how are you claiming this? You didn't write this. But what it was is the guy did a cover of it on his stream. And so he was claiming everybody else who had done it. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to mess with it. It was easier for me to just go ahead and excise that part of the show and just go on. It was just the title anyway.
That's fair.
Yeah, but still, I mean, in hindsight, if I had to do it all over again, I'd probably go tell that guy to eat a dick and fight him on YouTube, because I'm kind of like, you don't have copyright claim to this either because you didn't make it. Well, Dawid Podswaldo made it.
You kind of got to do it, because if you don't, they get big balls. But if they get enough of these things turned down, YouTube will take a look at them and see what they're doing, and it can actually be a very, very negative effect for them, right?
How about that?
But they bank on the fact most people are just going to roll over and say, fuck it, I don't want the headache. And as a result of that, they get away with it, and they get to get a bunch of money for it that they don't deserve.
Like that dude who used the AI to make songs and then botnets to watch the songs.
Yes. I heard about that.
The thing is he didn't do anything against the rules.
No.
They're trying to claim fraud, but is it?
I mean, the tools were there, so I don't know. I guess you could get away if you could get away with it. I guess it just kind of comes down to what you can prove and what the companies are willing to do to get rid of you.
Well, one of the benefits it'll benefit is when you appeal, they have X amount of days, I think it's 30 days or whatever, to respond to the appeal. And a lot of the bigger places will just never get back to it. They'll just let it expire, and then you win.
Oh, okay. I'll keep that in mind for the future.
That's how I beat Disney.
Disney deserves to be beaten with a stick.
Yes.
With a rake.
And with that, I think everybody has gone off to go watch the debates and stuff, because there's only 4 people watching my channel right now, and we're already 11 minutes past when we should have stopped anyway. So I bid everybody out there in the audience, hey, thanks for hanging out with us. If you're catching us on the replay, thank you very much. Just slap a like, slap a subscribe, and catch me on Saturday, because we're going to have the guy from Neon Lords of the Toxic Wastelands on, and that's going to be a hoot. We'll see you then.